Do we have sound now? Let me go to.
It's going to be very awkward for our viewers who are actually.
No, it's on. It's on solid. All right, we're good. He says. I don't see the. I usually see the little bar thing moving around, but I don't see the bar thing moving around. Can you hear me? Good.
Can you hear me now? Good.
He says we're good, but I can't see. Yeah. Okay, is that better? Alrighty, I hope that worked. That is so weird that I don't have the. Yeah, we're good now. Okay. All right. 1-6. Again. So. This is not good. We need to fix that problem. Remind me we have to get a wire before next week. The house shaped one trapezoid, whatever you call it.
Okay, we're back.
Okay. Oh, you got it on audio. Sorry.
Valère has found a nice rock that he likes to talk to.
I have a rock? I didn't even
No, it was a
your
small
rock.
slate. It looked like to me that he had holding to preciously to his ear.
No, you can swipe on it.
Swipe it right into the ocean, by golly.
But then how will you communicate?
Right, so, Angus,
Yeah, gentlemen.
Hey, we found the doohickey you're looking for up there with the primies.
Okay, you.
And
What do you mean? You need to fill me in. I'm sorry. I've got a lot on my mind. Sorry.
No. Okay, so Angus wanted us to find the last hideout of the Primuses in the area. He told us what mountain they're on, but he wasn't sure exactly where they were.
You located
We
it.
stumbled upon them, well, they stumbled upon us. He also wanted us to make sure that Quantumus was there because there's a big bounty on his head that he wants to collect on.
Right. He told you not to collect on it. That he would.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's wanted alive, not dead.
He didn't say that. He just said he didn't want us to do it.
For reasons.
Yes,
That I didn't know why I should ask at the time. At least my character didn't.
Exactly.
Rito, so if you get this map right here, I'll show you. It's right about this area. There's a really clean wee bit of wood that they keep very clean. And what did they call it? Ella something. They had a name for it. It doesn't matter. And
It probably does matter, and if it does, Cody will have it in his notes.
do you remember the name that he gave us about the place that his workshop was in?
Quantuses?
Yeah.
I don't remember getting a name from Quantitus about a workshop. I don't even remember him mentioning a workshop.
I can see it on the map. It's in my eyes,
In his eyes.
but I can't read the
Divine
words
inspiration
of the image that I
from
can
the
see.
gods.
For God's sake, get it out of his eyes.
I'm ants in his eyes. Ah,
It's
No,
not the bees.
no.
The bees.
So we
I like your reference more.
are near Trundlespoon, right?
It's near the border of Trundlespoon. Yeah.
Right. So it was up nearish Trill.
Shouldn't be that far north.
Yeah. Where Trill points down. I'm just following the angle down of where Trill.
I'll pass it
points.
back. I'll take a look at it. That doesn't ring a bell.
I'm with Wraith over there. I do not recall any lab.
I know how to find out. We can watch the episode.
Yeah, it's true. We could.
So we'll watch the episode and get back to you later.
Later. Next week, we'll have the information about it for this week.
Yep.
What's this wee reptile?
Why wasn't he talking, you fool? Is your brain hearing voices again? Crazy.
Yeah. He says he needs the Nycos. That's good. I like that phrase. I'll have to keep that one too. All right. So, Angus goes, well, so where y'all headed to?
Don't know. For reasons we can't quite elucidate fully, we'd very much like to find this Quantivus again.
Oh, check back in the Neomorian stockade in the next 6 months or so after I deal with the thing I've got to deal with first.
Would you like any help with that?
Actually, no. It's got to be it's a sec-gen thing.
Right, well, he told us that he may or may not have some things that we've been looking for a long time, and the possible ability to finding more of them, and we'd really like that information, if not a set on the platter. But anyways,
Well,
You
didn't you? I thought you mentioned that you had a way of finding the things you're looking for.
oh, we do, but
Because you wouldn't tell me what it was you're looking for.
we wouldn't want him to do anything to the one that he may or may not have found.
Okay. Well, if I get done what I need to get done, then we can palaver about what we'll do with it. If
Let
we
us
find it.
know.
Well, how am I going to get hold with you if you're wandering the world doing good as you've been doing?
Oh, I trust you. You'll find a way.
Well,
You poofed in between here and the ziggurat once, so you can do your thing.
truth be told, that was because I was at the time working as a tree fallen operative, and I don't like working for them very often.
I know the feeling. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
what's all this right bastardy stuff about the tree falling and the heroes and all the signs do not go here and tree falling society and whatnot?
Well, the Tree Fallen Society was the instrument that basically broke the bureaucratic back of the former governments, and
Didn't work very well, did it?
well, the bureaucracy sucked. Well, as far as that's concerned. Oh, as far as you're talking about now.
Mm.
Well, the problem with it, when you do any kind of a government overthrow, if you have to then turn around and cast for people to fill gaps, you end up finding the very same people who had been in the positions before. They're more than willing to do the work. You just have to kind of ride herd on them. And quite frankly, the Tree Fallen Confederation had more to do with a larger outreach than just this nation. And so the problem with a structure that is larger than a local government, you end up with even bigger bureaucracies on your hands rather than less. So besides that, I think they also had some heavy influence from some administrators from Tenerife who came down shortly after the Tree Fallen Rebellion was completed and kind of took up the slack in the process. Has put some economic clause into the...
Tenerife is known to do that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, about the payment that you promised us.
That was... Oh, as far as you want the shields.
Shields, aye.
Sure. How many did you need? 2?
2.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanking you.
Just realize that it does take... Once planted, it takes a turn to dislodge them.
Oh. No problem.
You have to basically have a conversation with the tree because the shields are fundamentally somewhat related to ants.
Oh. We have ways with trees, you know. Long story. Very long story.
No doubt.
Good story, though. Good story.
All
So,
right.
how long were you saying that it'll take you to get the bastard?
What bastard? I'm sorry.
Quantivus?
Oh, it's already in the works. This has been coming for a while.
Well, you have a time frame on how long it's going to take you?
It's not a concern of yours.
Oh, I just want to wait
It's
till
not
after
a-
it's done so I can go interrogate him.
When he's in the stocks, he'll be there for some time, I'm sure.
So he'll be there in like a month, 2 months?
I can't give you a window at this point.
Okay.
It's not prudent. Besides that, I thought you guys had other work to do. Don't you now have whatever you came looking for? So
But-
now it's a matter of finding out where it's supposed to go, right?
No, we know where that is. It's just a long ways away.
Not if we go the way we're supposed to.
No, it's a long ways away that way too. Cheery bye. We'll be talking to you again soon.
All right. I was waiting for that. Thought maybe you'd forgotten.
Oh, never. So, we go to, Mariah, get some supplies before we
but
go.
while this conversation was going on, one thing is that Lily would have caught your eye and motioned for you to come to the kitchen.
Remind me again, who's Lily?
His very beautiful blonde-haired daughter.
Daughter, okay. I couldn't remember if that was wife or
But
not.
she's daughter. Okay, she's not really daughter. He treats her in that role. Some say that she's a ward. Others say that she's wife. But he had a wife, and the wife died a long time ago.
Mm.
And she's looks mortal. She doesn't look sec-gen at all. And he did have another daughter named Clara. God rest her soul. Who died in the war.
Mm. Okay, she beckoned for me over?
Yeah.
Alright.
She says, I caught your act downtown.
Whoa.
God dang it.
Gingerbread man dance.
Something else came to mind. I'll say later when the camera's off.
Nice. She says, yeah, no kidding. She says, you seem kind of wistful after the performance. But it seems so real. Did you actually experience that?
When you've been around as long as Glim has, there's a lot of things in life.
Well, the reason why I was asking is, I have some friends that were probably kin of yours, and they were served up in the ovens of the 13th Coven.
I see. Quite unfortunate. Off topic. Well, a little on topic. Did you know that the inside of those ovens are very clean?
Indeed. They must use easy off. Hashtag Nycos D&D. Check us out on Patreon, Nycos D&D. Okay.
I can't believe it's not gnome blood.
It is.
No, it's clean, so it's not gnome blood. I can't believe it's something else.
It's the non-stick.
Yes.
Well, the reason why I brought all that up is that there's evidence that pastries may have been involved.
Pastries.
Dun dun dun. Glim just does that right there.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. I see you appreciate the drama of it as well.
You gotta take the good with the bad bakes.
Well, apparently 7 of the gnomes were killed by poisoned pastries. The 8th one died from a blow to the head. Seems that one wouldn't need his pastries.
7 and 8. Glim wonders if this number holds significance.
I just brought it. I just wanted to mention it because there's a possibility that there might be an entire tome of culinary magic.
You mean a cookbook?
Yes, you might want to call it that.
Okay.
You know where one of them is. Yeah.
Where do you believe that this
Well-
culinary tome could be?
Well, there's ruins nowadays, I guess you'd call them, of the nation of E. It fell into ruin during the Great Gnome Civil War, and is now the area around it is now known as Havoc. So I thought maybe you'd be interested in knowing that, because if those books of culinary magic could be recovered, you could start your entire own school. You inspired me with your dance.
The School of Erotic Dance and Baking.
Hey, those are some sweet cookies, man. Sweet, sweet cookies.
Glim's gonna open an erotic bakery, apparently.
Wow! Hashtag Nycos After Dark.
So it's just a regular French bakery.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not.
Oh, oui, baguette.
Mature. Thank you very much for this information.
Oh, you're welcome. Least I could do for all you've done for me.
Would you like some gingerbread?
It's not. Yeah. Is that a remainder? How long have you had that? It'd be like dried out and a little moldy in the corners.
It's safe.
I swear it's safe.
That is a weird word to use.
And that's why you never mix cornbread with cactus juice.
Or jalapenos.
It's the juiciest.
Jalapenos go well in cornbread.
I think so.
So yeah, Glenn just once he's done talking to,
Well,
he just walks back over and apparently
I was telling a very funny story, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
apparently.
and I clearly see on the Wraith that it was not entertaining at all. I could just kind of imagine.
Are you saying
service.
are you saying that you're not going to take Wraith with you when you go to play poker? Is that what you're saying? He shows too much on his face.
No, that's what you're supposed to do when you go to poker. You have one guy who's an easy read, but you only give him like 1/10 of all the money. He's the one that gets all the hardcore players to focus on him while you're just raking it in when no one's noticing.
Yeah.
So, hey,
He sets the curve.
we going into town to get some supplies before we go?
Might as well.
We should maybe look for some form of transport.
It'll probably be a lot quicker that way.
Hey, like a ship or something.
Oh, that's another thing that's of note is that there is a tree fallen transport rentals. They rent wagons to people that are going on trading missions in trade for 1/10 of the net profit of the trip.
Are they as fast as timbers?
We have a bad run with wagons. We shouldn't rent them.
Oh, I think we should.
Just buy the insurance. Just buy the
We
rent.
need to go to Tenerife for that.
Oh no, you don't have to anymore. That's what I'm saying. Is they've kind of stuck their noses in over here with, because one of the things that happened was that the Fallen Confederation reached out for aid to all of its neighbors, and agents all the way from Tenerife came out and, in cooperation with the Green Veil, the Viridian Cross, started raising money for them and such like, and so they now are here developing a going insurance business.
Great. Hey, well, let's go see what is.
All right, so you're back in town.
What are the stats for the shield?
Shields
Well,
are normally just +2 unless something's adding an extra armor to it.
These are big.
no, they're
big magic wood.
these are magical devices. Fundamentally, they have a value of 1 structure point. It's like you build a portable wall. Wherever you
So
place
it's-
them, when you place the base of them in the ground, that space becomes a fortification. And so if you're behind the fortification, you get hard cover, which is automatic disadvantage on attacks against you behind it, as long as you stay directly behind it. And it can withstand everything but it can withstand up to a cavalry charge. It can't withstand, a giant or something monstrous like that, but a standard Cavalier Lancer isn't going to knock you over with his lance, even at full charge, because it establishes a location. Now, it does not convey a dex bonus to your armor class if you're carrying it. It takes away your armor, takes away your dex, because you're not moving. You're staying behind it.
Right, but what about using it just as a regular shield?
Well, the other thing to note is that because it's living, it counts as magic. So even though it's not a magical item, it's actually a living thing. It gives you the ability to block magical attacks. So, like, for example, if you're being attacked with a breath weapon or other kind of ray effect, you can get advantage on the saving throw because you've got a nice place to hide behind, because it really is a fortification.
Okay. So other than that, just the +2 to defense.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo! I've learned my lesson. I'm writing it down. Okay.
He's finally learned to write it down.
As he shakes his head. No.
Anyways.
He'll write this one down and then forget for the next six
Well,
months again.
now I can forget because it's written down. So, off we go to back to town to see what we can see.
Okay.
We got back our supplies from the Who's Who What's It's.
And while you're yeah, while you're in town picking up your items and finishing up your details, Wraith, you get a pretty little brunette with the twin ponytails. Makes her look way younger than she probably is motioning for you to follow her.
Valara, I'm being beckoned by someone I don't know. I will go for it.
Now her clothing
Is
is
she pretty?
yeah,
Then
she's
go to her,
her
son.
charisma's
to
over
her.
16.
Get it up
Her
here.
clothing is patchwork leather. No metal to it, so it's not studded leather. It's standard leather armor. More than likely, she has a tambourine under her hip, which is kind of odd because even with it hanging on her hip, when she walks, you don't hear it. She's got a roll to her. The motion of her action is such that it doesn't ring the bells. Yeah,
Is the tambourine green?
it could be.
Well, I'm gonna go over there and see what's going on. If I yell
Help?
frosty tomatoes, that's my safe word.
So if you say
Yes.
frosty tomatoes, it's your safe word.
Yes, that means come running, help.
Oh, I thought it meant you were safe. And if I didn't hear it, then I come and barge in.
No, if you hear somebody yelling frosty tomatoes, you know what to do.
Okay. What is that again?
Just mean, just mean
If I
come
scream,
running.
if I scream.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, you go over there.
As she gets your attention, she actually walks to the back door, stops long enough to make sure that you see her leave. When you get to the door, of course, it's already closed, but she's about three buildings down, motioning you to follow
Okay.
her. Make a wisdom check.
Check or safe?
Just a check.
14.
Okay, you can tell she's leading you towards the religious district where they've got the new temples.
Okay. Matovaler on the Sending Stone, leading me towards the religious district, new temples.
That's a no-fly zone, buddy.
Nice.
You do not want a religious brooch. They're freaks. Cloistered lifestyle.
But they get the nun suits. I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say it.
What?
Nycos memory loss.
Here,
Exactly.
I'll teach you the magic words.
No.
Say it just like this. Geese a gobble. Works every time.
Okay.
Half the time it works every time.
Anyway, she gets to an area near a very unadorned, for lack of a better term, granite stone block. It's got very simple windows carved high in the walls, but the door itself is just a simple round, lack of a better term, a wheel in a groove in the front of the structure, and the stone is currently rolled open. As she gets to the doorway, you see her perform the international sign of the donut before she walks in.
Okay, what does that mean?
When she's going in the hole, you should follow. Get in her hole.
Bad.
Wow. Hashtag Nycos after dark.
Hashtag this game.
Alright. I continue.
Okay. When you look into the structure, there are four rows of simple benches rising up out of the ground. Looks like they're actually made of the same granite. It looks like the entire temple, if you will, was carved out of a single block of granite. You know, that can't possibly be true. It must have taken a bunch of different casters a long time using stone shape to get this building to be all of one structure. But the only piece that looked like it was separate was that stone that would have rolled in the groove. Everything else looks like it's all one single piece. The front of the building, where you think of where you would normally have your raised dais or whatever, instead there's a depression, and the floor slopes inward towards a single circle drilled basically in the floor. So there's, there's basically a hole in the center of the floor. Kind of looks like, if you will, a really easy skee ball pit, if you know what I mean. It's just this curved wall, curved flooring, parabolically curved down to this circle. Looks like literally anything that you would, any coin you would roll into there would eventually go into that pot.
Like those donation bins that you put
The
money
infinity-
in
the
just to
infinity-
watch it go around and around.
The
and
infinity
around.
spinners, yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it looks like.
Seen those at the mall.
And as you walk in, she's standing near the lip of it, and when she looks back at you, she smiles, and then rolls a coin, and then goes over and sits on one of the benches. And the benches are positioned so that you can watch the coins as they go round and round. And of course, it's designed in such a way that it's going to take forever to get down there.
Okay.
As monstrous as the place is, but the coin, after a few seconds, it registers to you that she just rolled a dragon in there. It's a lot of dough in one.
Yeah. Okay. She just dumped 10 platinum down that thing.
Uh-uh.
Oh no,
Up
right.
the number.
100 platinum.
No,
No.
100 crowns.
Oh, a dragon is 100 crowns, right?
Right.
10,000 gold.
Jesus.
I thought a crown was 1,000 platinum.
No. A crown is 1,000 platinum, and a dragon is 1,000 crowns.
No.
No,
100.
100. That's right.
It's all hundreds.
It's all hundreds.
So
That's
dragon
okay.
is 10,000 gold.
Add zeros.
You spin me right round, baby, right around, and the record, baby, right round. You hear
She motions for you to sit next to her on the bench that she's sitting on.
Okay. I do so. Walk over, sit down.
You have a bit of a darkness about you.
Well, I guess I could say that for those of my bloodline.
Yeah, but I also know you happen to have. You have something that should be making wormwood, but it isn't.
Should be making one.
Yeah. Have you checked your coins lately? You just went shopping, so yeah, you've not any trouble. You had no trouble with your coins lately.
Yeah. I had no trouble with my coins.
Oh, that walking stick you've got's got that weird crack in it.
I was just talking about Saf.
There you go.
I guess it is a weird crack. Not all gems can be as pure as you'd like.
Well, I'm very interested, and I would be willing to pay you 20 of those coins for that walking stick.
See, this is a family heirloom. I can't.
Is
give
it
away.
going good?
Just gonna silence that real quick.
Like,
Put it on vibrate mode.
yeah.
It's a family heirloom. I can't sell it. Well, that is a great sum of money.
When did you get it?
Hmm?
When did you get it?
I acquired it. How long have I been out on the surface? It's been a few years. Let's just say I looked a lot younger when I had it first.
I would ask Saf his opinion because he might want to go with the pretty woman.
I don't want to lose a bunch of warlock levels and be a level 2 character out of fucking nowhere. This is me as a
But
player.
you'd be the greatest wingman.
He.
Okay.
See,
So where'd you get it? If you say when it was a long time ago, good. But I didn't know where did you get it? Because I want to know if there's any more of them.
Oh, I got it in my home, the Everdark. Way down under the ground.
Oh, same place the Tree Fallen got their loot.
Possibly.
So, you a gun runner? Saw you hanging out with Angus.
Oh no, we just had some business with him.
So you're a buyer.
a buyer, and he asked us to check some areas out for him, so we did. A bit of a trade for some of his goods.
Oh, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Jill.
Wraith.
I knew. I called you Wraith earlier.
Just like to introduce myself when given
Yeah,
others'
well.
names.
As the chosen spokesman for the organization which I represent, we would be willing to pay you that same 20 if were able to get our hands on about the same amount of the stone that you have. It comes out to about a quarter of a pound, 500 grams, something like that.
All right.
She wants that half a kilo.
You don't want to know who has the stone.
Who had it?
Hey,
got-
Wraith,
It got stolen.
what's your
The person who had
favorite
it
vegetable?
Actually, watches us on the streams and thinks you guys are her favorite. She actually stole it.
She stole it from Legion? 'Cause that's who we gave it to.
Oh, I'm talking
Session
about.
like 3.
I know, but there was somebody else who had one in modern era, in
Oh.
Eldrin, in Cauldron,
Oh, okay.
and they went backwards to third it, and Olivia playing an NBC rogue stole it.
Good job, Olivia. You did the world a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually had to pickpocket off of Cord the Giant because the Cord the Giant was holding it for Rio because Rio didn't want to actually write on his character sheet that he had it, even though he always said that he had it. He was letting Cord carry.
I wrote on my character sheet what I have. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
See, I did that earlier.
I'll write my stuff down when I get my pencil back. Sorry. Oh. Oh. I already have first one now. Because I never erased the last one.
We have
Down,
two.
This is the fulcrum stone.
Probably right, fulcrum.
Yeah, because your device needs to pick up another one before you get to Fulcrum.
I'm gonna take your silence as a good sign.
Anyway, she says, my organization is willing to pay 20 of those coins for that half of a pound of crystal. But on a shorter note, if you can get a hold of the manifest from one of the Tree Fallen shipments that's being set up right now in the dark rooms of the museum, I'll give you another 2.
Well, alrighty then.
Alrighty then. You hear a chorus in the back of the church.
Nice. 15 guys look exactly like Jim Carrey.
And they're all bent over using their butts to sing.
15 Mr. Heinies.
In 15-part harmony.
Well, at least somebody got into a lot of fifths. Let's just put it that way. And if you ever need to get a hold of us, I do represent a group known as the Alley Bashers.
The Alley Bastards.
Alley Bashers.
Alley Bashers.
Yeah, we just go we just go by Bashers nowadays. But our heritage was as a street gang, and we've been elevated to caravan security. And we've been working with, I guess you'd call him your associate, Angus, for a while.
Oh, well. Good to know we do have some common ground then.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably get back to my companions soon. Is there anything else you need, or?
No, but if you ever need our assistance, if you ever want to know whether or not the guild is operating in an area, simply go to the jail and look for anybody in the cells plucking the petals out of flowers.
All right.
Pleasant pluckers. Pheasant pluckers.
Okay.
Did you give her the wink and the shooty finger? You hear the stone.
Yeah, even though I have it on silent, that just clear as day. Just. Okay.
Actually, that's the sign-off sound now. It's the old radio click.
That's our command motion, our somatic component to activate
The stones.
the stones. Hey, can you hear me? See you later.
Well, I'll be taking my leave now then. Bid you adieu. Have a good day.
Sure, and make sure you do your genuflection when you leave. The sign of the donut.
Oh.
This is, by the way, the Temple of Vol.
I see potatoes.
What?
I see potatoes. Your safe word was frozen
Frosty
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
I see potatoes. Is that what you said?
Man, I'm glad that thing's on silent. Alright, I'll take my leave, do the sign of the donut, and head back towards the last place I saw these two.
Okay.
You find us outside, looking around in a panic, shouting into the stone. I said potatoes, goddammit! Where are you?
Yeah, that wasn't the word. I'm just gonna sneak up right behind him.
What the hell? You scared the blazes out of me.
I told you if you didn't hear from me, I was fine.
Oh! See, I got it backwards again. If you
but-
didn't say anything, I was supposed to yell icy potatoes and you would come running.
No. I was going to yell frosty tomatoes, and then you would come running.
Okay. So you say nothing. I come running and you say icy potatoes. Okay. We'll figure it out later. So
At
what?
a new time.
How was she?
She, I guess she works for a place called a group called the Alley Bashers. I guess they go by the Bashers now. And she was trying to buy Saf.
Kinky.
She wants a piece. She wants the prism.
What's a prism?
See this little crack in Saf? The purple.
What's Saf look like?
He's a black star sapphire with the star being yellow. That big.
So
Then
black crystal.
but there's a lightning bolt kind of streak through of purple, and that purple is
Purple. Hey. So what do you want?
She wanted that.
Just that?
Pretty much. She offered me,
She wanted your stones.
was it 20 dragons or 10?
20
Yes.
dragons for it.
She offered me 20 dragons for it, but I can't.
20 dragons? What colors?
Coins. Blair, coins.
Second.
The coins. Not the beings.
Oh. It's not worth it then.
There you go. But she did offer me 2 of those coins if we get real quiet, getting real close. She wants the manifests from the Tree Fallen Society down underneath the
Oh, you're saying we gotta go back down there again?
I mean, 2 of
Hey.
those coins can pay for probably the rest of our journey.
Okay. Nay having the guided tour this time.
What, you don't want to hang out with the chairman again?
No, I do not. So wait, what she offered you the 20 for? Just for Saf?
Just for some?
Nothing else?
Well, she said if I found another piece of the prism that was equal to this in weight, that she'd pay for that. But,
What does those look like?
prisms? Not that big.
Different
The whole
colors?
thing.
Okay, your device doesn't look like a prism. Your device looks like you said a walking stick with a bolt of purple material through it.
Yeah, but I've
He's
seen
asking,
the actual one.
but you don't even know what a prism is. Did Saf tell you about the prism? I don't think he did.
Yeah, when we found it.
Okay.
That was a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just trying to find out all the information.
Right. I just wasn't sure how much you had as far as what an actual prism, because I know that you as a player certainly know, but I
Yeah.
didn't know how much.
Wraith doesn't know what they do. He just knows that they're powerful, and crystalline,
Crystalline,
and like
yeah.
about the size that they would be. Not much else.
How big would they be?
Slightly smaller than a fellstone.
No, they're foot and a half. They're foot and a half long and about 4 inches across.
So elongated.
Yeah.
Tiny size.
That's
category.
big.
Do they have any of
It's
that?
a lot, though. It's a lot more than the amount of material in Saf, and the amount of material she's asking for is a far, far less amount. Because she's only asking basically for a shard.
I just had them dark crystal things. So wondering if they might be similar.
Maybe, but if they're dark, they're not what we're looking for. We're looking for shiny.
They used to be shiny when they were in their holes. Anyways, so back down to the museum, eh?
Yeah, let's go.
Onward. How are we getting in this time, boys?
I don't know. All I know is we're gonna
Front door?
sneak around the centaurs.
How about we just walk in and see if no one stops us? At least that's what I like to do. Makes it more fun.
Well, we didn't need an appointment last time, so.
Well, we could see.
No, you did, because you went and remember in the morning, went with the official tour guide and all of that nonsense.
We quickly lost him. For all we know, he's still in the place looking for us.
Official tour guide was the sleep.
Right.
No,
He could still be looking for us.
He stopped just before we went into the actual museum part of it.
Right.
He took
Oh,
us
yeah.
down a couple of steps and was like, so, do you really want me to go with you? Or do you want the guided tour? Or the audio tour or whatever?
The audiobook.
He,
And we
he self-guided tour. is
yeah,
what it is,
that
right?
one. So we left him there.
Okay.
We could just say that we didn't finish.
Just so much to see in this museum.
That our
Please more
bleepity
than
blue
one trip.
bleeped at the thing again, like there's some more there.
Although I think we're gonna need another guided tour from the.
No. Veto. Put my foot through it. Wait, maybe we should get another guided tour.
You had no one to destroy.
Hi.
Sounds as good a plan as any.
Away we go.
Okay, so as you approach, the museum signs are out front for the public, and they ask for your invitation or your appointment.
Aye, we had an appointment the day before yesterday, and we had work to do down in the dark evening. Ask the centaurs, they'll remember us.
Oh, you already made it to the part with centaurs? Give me a moment. He walks over the wall, and you see there's a rack of sending stones. And then I got a number to sign it. He picks one and goes, "Hey, Ferris? Yeah, I've got a couple up here that said they talked to you. Yeah? Okay." Comes back over and says, "Hey, you guys are cleared for general use as emissaries of the draconian government. You do have an appointment still pending, though, with the Empress. She's now freed up her schedule enough to meet with you. Would you want that meeting today or tomorrow?"
Probably tomorrow. We need to prepare.
Well, okay. Sounds fine.
Make our powerful points, you know.
Nice. Vespers then tomorrow? How are the Vespers? 9 o'clock.
Morning.
Aye, that'll do. What's the Vesper? 9?
9.
And do they know?
All right.
Down the hole we go to roll.
So, walking through, and you get to about the same point where you saw the centaurs before, and
Perception check. Oops.
Why?
Dang it, I was too excited.
clearly he's throwing dice on the
Oh,
floor
yeah.
and everything.
Wait,
He's rolling before telling the DM why he's rolling.
I want to...
He's rolling just to roll.
No, I'm doing a perception check for P. I need to find Keeley, see if he's still there.
For who?
The cowardly dwarf
The
at
cowardly
the beginning.
dwarf.
Oh, Keeley, yeah.
Yeah, who was peeing himself
Oh,
at
gotcha.
the entrance.
Gotcha.
You told everyone he was peeing himself.
He said that he peed himself or something like that. I smell nothing.
No. Anyway, they do remind you that that part over there is off limits. Whatever you do, don't go over there, kind of thing. But they're a little bit more lax about it since you've already been here once before. And you didn't break into that area yesterday, so they're.
Oh, aye, we did, hey. Not at all. Not even a wee little bit. Not even our tootsies crossed that line. Shall we go?
Literally, as they walk around the corner, okay, now we go in.
Do they look at the damn well? Okay, off we go.
Well, since
Snowy, no well for you. Remember, the gentleman was mean.
well, but that's over there. Remember, you said that that part where you were not allowed to go to was. You didn't go into the part you weren't supposed to.
We
that's all.
passed through the museum with all the exhibits, and at the end of it, we went down steps.
Right, but this is not the same thing. This is the part where the centaurs had told you to not go in earlier, and it's not that.
So it's right past the elevator.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay. So we already passed that.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we met any dwarves along the way?
You have not. You've not seen any dwarves. How many dwarves?
Their experiments must have been successful. They were experimenting on the dwarves. So do we see the tree that's pushed over?
Yes, that's one. You see that mark which says "Do not enter."
Squeaky.
Is the chair bothering you?
No, it's just squeaky.
They're all
I'm
kind of
gonna
squeaky.
take out a red crayon, and I'm gonna draw two, like an infinity symbol on the roots of the tree. And walk away.
So you're writing a sideways 8.
Yeah,
It's a lazy 8.
yeah, on underneath the tree.
Okay.
You'll figure it out later.
All right. So as you pass by that part, the first thing as you go past it, you literally walk through an area that has been silenced. And it happens so abruptly that you don't even realize that you walked into it until you literally walk out the other side, and there's a huge amount of sound. So they put up a permanent wall of silence to protect what's really going on behind the scenes from what everyone thinks is going on. And it sounds like industry, like business, like sounds
Ching, ching.
of hammers and people shouting and crates being dragged and pushed around and stuff like that. And as you continue down the hallway, you come to a place where there's a staircase, and it's an open-faced staircase down into a larger, I wouldn't say really a chasm, but a wider opening under the earth. The surface of the top has been formed, and it literally looks like somebody patted it with the palms of their hands, because it's all smooth, but you can also see like handprints in the earth above, like the earth was being held back by hands.
It's a bit strange.
And looking down over that area, there's no outer handrail, so it's if you've ever walked one of these narrow staircases, it's kind of daunting where there's no handrail and it's just straight stairs down the inner wall, and they're only like 1.5 feet, so they're narrower than a standard footpath as you're going down this rather steep stairwell into the lower area. And there are 4 machines sitting on rails, just like mining cars would be, but they're monstrous in comparison. They are probably 8-foot trestles.
They're moving something big.
And there's 4 of these, for lack of a better term. It's a wagon with no horses in front. And on the front of the wagon, where you would normally have all the attachments that would hook up your rig to tow it, instead you see a horribly menacing mouth carved out of the steel. So the front of it is a steel, almost like a steel trap, teeth above, teeth below, open wide, like it's going to eat something. That's mounted on the front of each of these 4 engines, and they are fundamentally pointed at the cardinal directions: north, south, east, west.
Are there people working?
There's a lot of folks. Most of them look like gnomes and dwarves, and their nature, just the way they appear, does not put them in the realm of being grim or Shelta. These are Tink gnomes and Grund. So these are your surface dwarves. They seem a little nervous, constantly looking up at the ceiling, but each time that they look upwards, you see them put their hand up. And then it seems like that satisfies them, and they stop, and that action seems to
Is there any reaction when they do that with the ceiling?
make a perception check.
16 plus 3, right? 16 plus 3?
Is your perception, is your wisdom 1?
My wisdom is 16.
Oh yeah, 16 is plus 3.
Right.
So I thought you rolled a 16 when you were asking.
17.
Okay. Yes. Each time they put their hand up, you see the stone itself shows another handprint. There's a form of magic going on here you've never seen.
Like a really good version of Mage Hand.
Yeah, a combination between Mage Hand and Mend.
Alright.
Do you know what's going on with the handy prints?
No.
Didn't they want to figure it out? Seems like it'd be your speciality.
Near the center of all this operation, there's one regular size and style wagon sitting there. No horses on the front of it, but there's a big, for lack of a better term, almost a bonfire-sized campfire with a huge cauldron sitting in it, and a team of the only Shelta gnomes you've seen are in shackles and are apparently cooking food.
I'm starting to think that these tree folly guys are kind of bastards.
Seems that way.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
The four if you will, the things with the teeth on them, I don't know what we call them, let's just call them engines for lack of a better term. These 4 engines are sitting on their tracks, if you will, and each one of them has 2 wagons attached behind them. And the mechanism that holds them together holds them, it would seem uncomfortably close. Normally, when you have rigging between vehicles, it has a rather lengthy space between those. You have time, place to go in and then make adjustments and stuff. In this case, they're linked together pretty closely, one to the other. And the other thing that's kind of odd is the tracks go directly into what looks like the stone surface of the walls.
I'm gonna do a divine sense real quick. Scan the room.
Okay, so there is an office area off to the, looking down into it from your angle. Where the staircase ends, right there in that corner, there is a small office-like structure. And you're detecting goodness. You're not detecting anything weird from there. But each of the engines you're detecting evil from.
Those are nasty beasties they are. All dark and icky looking. With my special eyes. But the people in the office seem nice. But they're doing not nice things, it seems.
Would seem so.
So what do you want to do about that?
Well, the first thing that's that you could consider would be to try to gather scuttlebutt from just walking around, because apparently nobody's going to. There are enough different kinds of people here walking around that you're not going to be standing out, except for you as a dragon. You're going to have a tough time with that.
I
The
squat.
two of you.
I squat a little bit in my crab walk. Use my tail to hold me up
He's
easier.
a dwarf. Can
I'm gonna look a little bit like a
Well, Snowy looks around a little bit and realize just somehow she just does like a quick calculation and makes herself look like a gnome. Only she's got all this weird apparatuses on her head, like goggles and lenses and stuff. And she's got a big wrench in her hand. She goes, "Does this work?"
Hey, it's better than I can do.
there you
I'm
go.
gonna look like a Gartham.
I in
Just a
disguise.
big hunched up thing,
Yeah.
crab walking.
No, she doesn't try to do a mask like you
No,
do.
that's what I'm doing.
You look like a Skeksis is what you freaking look like.
No, more hunched up than that.
Jeez.
No, you look like Hunters, who you'd look like.
Okay, I can take that. PC's cool. So, off we go.
Archer, not Hunter.
Sure. Doesn't matter. Same thing.
Literally.
So I will sneak as they walk comfortably into the crowd.
Okay.
Oh, they're also one of the wagon in particular, the train of wagons, I guess you call them, facing south, facing north. There is a preponderance of people of Treloran background there. And it appears that they are speaking with sharp-nosed little gnomes that don't even fit the description of Tink. It could be Sverf.
Shit.
So I'm gonna check the Hagrid, just kicks and giggles.
Oh, that's interesting to note. None within the 100 meters as usual, but there are a preponderance of about somewhere near a dozen, just on the edge of the map to the north.
Well, remind me to go north when we leave.
You go east.
Northeast now. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully, I'll forget.
Or someone will give you information that he found out about them a minute ago.
So I'm gonna go over towards the office and kind of peek in. Is there?
So you're gonna go check out the office. Where do you want to investigate?
I'm with Wraith.
I'm gonna kind of go into the populace and see if I can pick up any scuttlebutt, so to say.
So do you go to it near, possibly towards the food truck in the middle, basically,
Yeah.
the chuck wagon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with both of you going there, you're surprised to see the Sheltons working under duress, but their shackles are not to the facility. The shackles are to each other.
Okay.
And so it's kind of interesting to watch how they've developed this little move of a dance as they do their cooking work, as they're passing by each other, and they seem to know right when to lift the chains to let each other pass and whatever. And it's if put to music, it would be a cute little dance that they've developed to do their processes. And basically, they can process from haunches of meat to individuals serving plates of basically like a chuck wagon stew with a couple of extra chunks of meat and a half a loaf of sourdough or whatever for every 18 seconds or so. So their line moves pretty swiftly, even though it's a pretty much consistent line. Roll a 12-sided, both of you, since you're both doing the scuttlebutt thing.
11.
7.
Okay, so
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. Yeah, they were clearly near the food source. That's the. They were hanging out at the
Must not be
7.
Very good.
Hanging out at the 7-Eleven.
Oh man, I know people who swear by 7-Eleven pizza.
Dude, strange things are afoot at Circle K.
New hint: if I look over and see my own face, I know the camera's not working.
It's a good way.
That's fair.
All right. So on the 7, you find that the people here are familiar with and are conversant, and openly so, about iterations. And that these devices apparently have schedules to take people from now to other when. On the 11, you find the names of they, without actually seeing any manifests. You just hear the words being bandied about. Names like Mavu Imports, A&A Shipping,
Heard A&A shipping before.
Alistair. Let's see who else. What other names might you be able to pick up?
P. Diddy.
No, certainly not.
It was A and N, right?
A&A.
Oh, A and A.
A&A Shipping.
A&A and Mavu. The big movers and shakers. Not sure which is which.
It's Mavu, A&A, and...
Alistair.
Alistair. Also, interesting information, just as a fun little sidelight, is that the current champion at the Cathedrum of Kodar is a guy by the name of Maximus Prot. It's the first human to hold the title since the Reclamation 260 years ago. 226 years ago.
Hmm.
126 years ago. And Ulam Stonespeak is supposed to be an emissary from the Grey that they're supposed to be visiting. And they're going to be moving one of the engines off the track to give room for the next one coming in from another Wen. So, going into the offices, first of all, it's a very cheerful environment, and there are posters all over the place talking about 0 for president, and 0 for commissioner, and 0 for city council, and there's just a lot of enthusiasm in the offices as they're getting all the plans in order for the new changes that are coming in with the advances that are going on in the government. And there's a lot of, and just they're very, very positive that things are going the direction they're supposed to go to. And as soon as you walk in, they're like, "It is awesome! They've come! We finally got one! Please come! You're with the Draconic ambassadorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, please step up. Please, let's have a talk."
Okay. Hello.
Hi, I'm yes, I'm 0 Tree Fallen. So glad to make your acquaintance.
Does he look like the statue?
Yes. I'm just so pleased that another government is forming the same as ours is at this critical point in time. There is so much to be done. Have they been kind to you? Have you gotten an opportunity to take the tour? Did you get to see the wonderful things you've seen that are available in the museum?
I saw quite a few. It's quite nice.
Well, the fact that you're here means you've already had an opportunity to talk to the Empress, and that is a good thing. We have had a rather bad push recently for criminal elements to try to make inroads with the Empress, and we just simply can't abide anything of that nature, so we have to vet all of that. I hope you understand that it was just a matter of protocol. Personally, I'm opposed to bureaucracy in any form, but unfortunately, with the losses we've suffered and the pain that was caused by those losses, we have to be ultra diligent to make sure we take into account everybody's feelings.
Hi.
So you're Phoebus, right?
That's the one.
Good. I am a bit confused. According to my sources, you're Black Dragon.
Oh,
Is this a kind of disguise?
I stand up to my full height slowly. All the way up. Try to go a little bit taller.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, if you can see by my complexion that I don't like people to pin down exactly what they look like. It's for security issues.
Trust me, I know what those are like. You don't know what it's like until you've caused a quarter of your population to die because you didn't do something right. And so I have to really be diligent to make sure I can do everything that I can to maintain
Order.
exactly and
Control.
And no, not control. We don't like to. We really like to not play up that word. We prefer to say.
Ixnay on the untrolly.
Well, no. There are so many governments now that are moving towards the red veils. We've decided that that's probably not the best place to be, and so we prefer the concept of life and an elimination of those that would cause problems. So white and green kind of work really well for us. That's been our cultural colors since the revolution. By the way, did you get the free pint?
No, I didn't.
Oh, just a minute. And he goes over and he gets a whole a whole handful of flyers and says, "Pass these out when you're at the bar. And you get a free drink just for doing so."
Oh, what do they look like?
It's Treve Oliver president.
I'm gonna put those in my bag. So what do his posters look like?
Oh, it's a couple of lines from the now world famous closing time speech that he's famous for. Basically took the song Closing Time and rewrote all the words to turn it into a political anti-Eldrin rhetoric poem. It was the call to action in the pre-war days.
So what else is going on in this office?
Well, there's a lot of gnomes running back and forth between this building and the engines.
So, Mr. Fallen Tree.
Treefall.
Oh,
Just call me Zero.
Oh, Zero.
See, that's why he's White Veil, because his name hurting.
So, what would you like to do as far as ambassadorial relations with my people? You seemed very excited when you saw me.
Well, yes, because we had actually petitioned for. We didn't petition for it. Your government originally reached out to us in our time of need, and there had been a promissory for Dragonian Lancers, and they hadn't arrived yet. So I anticipated that your your arrival must herald the coming of that support for our military action.
Why? We like to just make sure we're not sending our Lancers into just, any old hole in the ground, if you know what I mean.
Now, quick out of character. Was it Valerian who made the purchase in Banbury way back when?
Belair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Was him, he has it.
Right. So, furthermore, he's hoping. He says, I don't know how to ask this, but I hope you may know another of your associates. We have a principal investor who has risen in value and propriety, and we want to perhaps tap into some of that resource. If you happen to be able to get a hold of him, your full name was on the document, so whatever you would put on the document is the name he'll try to say. So if it was the whole thing, which I think it was, he's going to butcher your full draconian name that you put on the document.
That one.
Yes, exactly.
Valer Keithralds.
Yes.
I had to practice that. Especially with the Scottish accent.
Yes.
So, this handsome boy you're talking about.
Well, I've never met him. This investment was made sometime before the Revening, probably 5th iteration. We're not certain.
What investment is this?
Oh, he bought shares in one of our companies and it's done very, very well over time.
Ooh. Good for him.
But nobody's tapped into it, so that money's sitting not being useful. So if you can get a hold of him, let him know that we would be willing to broker a transfer of value to the sum of somewhere north of 4 crowns.
4 crowns. And where is this investment thing that he had?
Well, he was investing in... He goes to the window and points out at the engines. This.
Could you elaborate?
Well...
Very interesting devices they are.
Well, yes, but this is how we're going to support the revolution. How we're going to take it global. We've already made arrangements to reach out to the current priestly leader of the sect gens, a guy by the name of Tongue Eater, and trying to bring him and his zealots on board with the rest of the liberation movement that we are currently doing.
You're liberating what from who?
Oh, we're repatriating the sect gen that have been displaced throughout the world, sort of like a diaspora.
Exactly. So what do these thingamajiggies do
Oh, they're transports.
for?
Cargo, personnel, soldiers,
Down?
collection
Are
devices.
there tunnels that the tracks lead down?
No, they lead directly into the wall.
Right. They kind of lead far if they go right into a wall.
Oh, well, okay. You'll love this part. They don't go anywhere.
Really?
They don't have to.
Why?
Okay. I don't understand the full science of it or the magic of it. Suffice it to say, they travel cyclically.
Could you show me?
Sure. Let's see if I can find something to write on here. Gets out his tablet. No. All right.
I think Valera wants us to come get him.
Okay. This is time. I knew I was going to get one of them wrong. Okay. Objects traveling in space and time travel in a linear path. And the linear path would be all the way around this circle, then all the way around this circle, then all the way around this circle, and so on. Right? That's the long way around. What if you were able to find places where they conjoin, and all you had to do is go from one to the next to the next to the next?
Mm-hmm.
Saves you a lot of space. Saves you a lot of time.
Aye.
Okay? Now, let's, instead of lining them this way, stack them. In other words, we find a way to make sure that they all link up with specific times exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can travel to any one of them instantaneously. All you need is a really big power source. Sitting out there are the the 4 engines that we've found so far.
And what
They were on the farmland of none other than our dear friend Angus Hereford.
So could you show me using one?
Well, every hour on the hour, they function. Stick around for another 10 minutes or so, you get to see one of them.
Would I be able to go on one?
Well, yeah, but the scheduling has to be made well in advance. There's got a lot of cross-checking, and more importantly, there has to be historic precedent. So there are certain places and times that you couldn't go to, for example, because you would alter or obviate a whole timeline.
Oh. Sounds good. I'm gonna go find my advisors. They're waiting for me outside. I'm gonna fill them in on the situation.
Sure. We do need to sit down and talk, though. And if you do happen to find that you know that Valera Throttle Sky or whatever, see if you can reach out to him, because we would really like to release some of those funds and get that economy moving again.
Oh, aye, my scribe. He might be able to track him or his descendant down.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanking you. So
Right.
when I come out, or
Well, hang on. So you've been watching the gnomes. Are you going to try to interact with them, or?
I've just been looking this whole time, taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's 8:50. Did you want to take a break till 9?
Sure. We'll take a quick break. And looks like Evie's been saying hi. Okay, it's very funny. I'll tell you about it during the break. We'll be back in just a bit, guys. Alrighty, we are back, and we're down to less than an hour, so we'll dispense on the reintroduction of characters as we're so close to the end. Anyway,
Glenn.
but at this
Blair.
point, yeah, and
Roof.
Roof.
Where'd you get that sourdough?
He's fluffing stuff
recording
because
now.
he's gone conning on us, fluffing stuff. He's roof.
I just imagine he's taking some of whatever the Shultons are serving.
There you go.
And just starts eating. Oh, thank you.
He's wolfing it down.
He's wolfing it now.
It's so delicious.
I was hungry.
Anyway, so while Valaire's in the office is doing that, you guys have additional time to check this out. And one thing you notice about the gnomes is that none of them look dour. None of them look the way you would expect somebody who is in a slaved role. As a matter of fact, they seem to be enthusiastic as they're making their way through the dance. The ones who are doing the pie crusts are working so expertly and so quickly. You do notice, though, that one guy on the line, the one who's like, if you will, at the bottom of the pecking order, is literally racing from step to step, trying to keep up, and he's not doing so. So what's really funny is that the serving line does great for about 50 minutes out of an hour, but for about 10 minutes when that guy's sitting there, he's having to learn how to split change and get orders to the right people, and orders are backing up because he's not able to handle the customer service part of it. And it just dawns on you, he's the new kid on the block. He's literally doesn't know how to do any of these things.
Freshly enslaved.
Just got
Very, very strange.
But that also means that the other people in their different positions, for about 10 minutes out of the hour, they have plenty of time to talk as they're doing their one specific job while they're there.
I look around. Is there any like sign that there's actually like a slave master or something around here? Or?
Good point. No, as a matter of fact, there doesn't seem to be. Well, as a matter of fact, at one point, one of them you see actually produce a key from his pocket, undo his chains, run to the latrine, come back, and chain himself back up again.
My kind of illusionist.
He looks over and he goes, "What?
Oh, you're pretending to be enslaved to blend in.
Oh, what? Hey, boys!" And Nomish, he yells, "Hey, boys! He thinks we're slaves!"
Why is Gnomish apparently pseudo hillbilly?
Have you seen gnomes?
I am one. I tell you what.
So, why would you even consider us to be slaves? Haven't you ever seen a cook line before?
I'm familiar with the term chain gang.
Ah, yeah, that's a mortal bastardization of the original gnomish chain cook line. This is how we train people to become master chefs in record time.
You mean my grandfather wasn't lying when he said that the traditional cooking method had you suspended from the ceiling with chains?
That's pretty close.
Wraith. These are apparently master chefs.
Well, going to be. Except for maybe Filbert. They all laugh at Filbert.
That's not nice for Filbert.
I'm trying, man.
Our heads back and laugh.
That reference went over my head.
He goes, "I've only been at it for 4 weeks. Give me a break." Yeah, the one guy you're talking to says, "Yeah, I'm Devin, and I've been on the line for about 4 years."
Impressive.
Yep, I'm now a
Did the manacles
master
hurt
trainer.
after a while?
Oh, check this out. Try one on.
I inspect it first.
Good thing you do. It does have a locking mechanism, but there's some kind of enchantment inside of it.
Feel.
Can't tell until you put it on.
Do you have a key?
So if I drop something,
They even give it to you. Go ahead.
it magnetizes the whole thing.
I close up the clasp, check the key to make sure it's
Yeah,
working
yeah.
condition. I put it on.
And as soon as you lock it, you realize, as soon as it's on, with that on it, the chain actually moves in concert with you, so that you don't even feel that it's there. It's only the new kids on the block, when they're actually cooking, that will feel it.
Ah. Your punishment for being new is you feel the chain.
Mm-hmm. No chain, no chain, no gain.
Mm. Does it like just start jerking me along to start having me help with the line?
If you want.
Jump in the line. Move your body anytime.
Okay, I believe you.
Unfortunately, I feel that just starts happening at one point.
Do it. Sure, why not? Because you've already got that musical theme going on, and you did the conga line earlier, and before that
It does
you did
not
the
help that
pole
yesterday I
dance.
finally bought a physical copy of Beetlejuice.
There we go.
Yes.
Hey, her name is Sonora.
You guys look over, and all of a sudden he's in amongst them. Eh?
Come in line.
Very nimble. Very
not-
nimble,
not-
doing
not-
some flips.
Not only that, will one day on the line will convey to you a temporary advantage on cooking checks.
Temporary.
Yeah, because in order to get it to be more permanent, you have to stay longer on the line. So the guy who's been on there for 4 years will probably keep it for the rest of his life. But
I don't know. I'd say that he has more experience of being in cooking equipment than any of them.
oh, he certainly has.
Are you saying that this is one of those moments
He's totally
where
into he's one of those people that can truly say he's been into his profession.
I was gonna say it's like that old saying for the sculptor. First, you gotta get your materials and all that stuff. You've gotta be the material. Well, Glim's already been his
That's what I'm saying,
material.
exactly.
I feel like you're some sort of variation of you are what you eat.
But I'm,
Oh, look at this.
I am what I wasn't eaten.
He's trying to hide his emotion.
Oh, great. Glim is just sentient leftovers.
Nice.
I mean, essentially.
That's
Living in the fridge.
where he got the piece of gingerbread. It just came from him. Hello, Ring Wraith.
Haha.
Uh-huh.
Ha 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 ha. Icy potatoes.
There's a cooking theme there too. They're not even heated up yet.
Potatoes.
Okay, that's okay. You can.
I find it funny how there's just like the one piece of the shawl that just keeps like wagging when he moves his head.
It's like
It's like a nose.
looks like a duck's nose actually. It's dark green duck.
He's the elephant, man.
Well,
What's that? No, he's Greedo with a hood. Somebody shoot him quick, and shoot him first.
You hear that from one of the tank gnomes. Shoot him!
So,
All right. So what are we making today, boys?
well, the full menu would include of course, we start off with the sourdough bowl to put the soup in, and then we do chuck wagon, a steak, of course, finest gorgon,
Gorgon?
zola, yeah, and gorgonzola cheese.
Oh, Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola
the
cheese.
bowl things that Angus raises.
Yes,
Yes.
easy to get here.
Mm.
There's also what's tater fries?
What's tater fries?
Exactly. That guy over there's what? He's the one who came up with the herbs that they put on the tater fries.
I see.
Icy potatoes.
And of course, his wife's name is Precious because Watts Tater Precious. Anyway, so
Yes.
no, I keep forgetting. Well, no, I keep forgetting he's only moderately okay with Lord of the Rings. Anyway, there's also green salad for those that want it, and for those of the Everdark persuasion, there is a 7 mushroom medley.
Medley? Mm-hmm. Hey, Wraith. How do you feel about fungus?
The fungus among us?
It's
in good
humongous.
if it's in good company, I guess.
Well, we left him behind a long time ago. But
Nice. He
Terrible.
was a player for a while. Then he didn't want to play anymore. I guess we turned him into a mushroom one too many times.
Yeah, once.
He was sauteed.
How would you like the wonderful mushroom medley? Hard to say with that voice.
well, as long as you're cooking it.
I'll take a beef Wellington.
Oh, where'd you come from?
That has everything all in one bit.
He wants the Gorgonzola.
Sure. And
I make sure to make a point that Wraith gets a slightly bigger bread bowl.
and there's also the
Just because you're getting a whole hunk of Gorgonzola.
ice cream.
Ice cream?
Exactly.
I was gonna
I
say.
can't tell what his expression is.
Well, they gave
Wait, is this the new expression for this week?
No, this is the Wraith doesn't want to be seen as being disinterested because he's not really disinterested. He's just sleepy, and so he's trying to avoid being seen as being sleepy. So he's
But now he looks extra
You're seeing
sleepy.
through my elaborate roofs.
no, I'm seeing through your black cloth. So, that while they're doing their bit, they do tell you that there's something that you might do for them when you're out and about if you get a chance.
Everywhere Glim goes, someone needs another piece of him.
Well, I don't know if it would be a hymn, but music's cool. But no, I was actually talking about if you go to the coastal area, if you're getting to the oceans, we have a particular fondness for scallops. So if you could get a shipment of scallops and mussels and mollusks and whatever and send them, to be great. We don't get them here very often. And
If Glim's ever near the coastline and he's able to send scallops over, Glim will. When all the stars align.
What's the status?
what's a star? You can't even line them up. There aren't any stars.
Find 2 stars, line them up.
Gotta find one.
Means conversions.
Nope, there are 2. There's Nimbus.
They're not perceived as stars. They're perceived as suns.
Right, we don't have astronomy yet.
But they line up once in a while.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
We pass between them for a week of it. Remember?
Hello, Dread Pirate Roberts.
Now it's Dread Pirate Roberts. Or Batman.
Batman. Where are the drugs? Where are the other drugs going?
Where's Dent?
Righto.
I'm a little terrified with what's going on with him.
He's
So does Rick actually like?
I can see the foreshadowing here is that he will eventually turn into a hag.
Then
No, I'm just wondering if Wraith actually has his black veil covering his face all the way down to his chin, and he's trying to eat that way or not.
you just
Your
see
lords
the
there, man.
No, he's doing the what is it? One of their it's Darth Vader trying to feed it through the ventilator.
You just see him like slowly.
It's all pureed, so it's got to be a straw.
You see him slowly pull out the hood and cover the plate. Then you just hear horrible slurping noises. Then he slowly draws back, and there's just a bone left.
Beastmaster.
vegetable medley. I
The
have no
original
idea what it was.
Beastmaster has that scene. Exactly. These horrible bat things terrified my sister for decades that I made her go watch that movie with me. Because the bat thing comes down and swoops over this dude, and you hear this horrible inside, and then when he opens the wings, just the skeleton falls out.
Nice.
Oh, my sister was terrified.
One of those.
I put those
plasma-
immediately into my D&D game. It was great.
How's the vegetable medley?
Not
Yes.
for me.
And then the ice cream.
Extra tubers for you.
Yeah. Ice cream. 2 flavors, Nimbus and Helios. And Nimbus is a deep violet, fruity concoction, and the Helios is citrus.
Are they luminescent?
They are.
I thought they should be.
Yep. Literally lights up your face as you're lighting up your face. Oh, and
I'm actually just a little worried about you.
How so?
Reptiles and cold.
They're glowing.
I'm a dragon. I'm warm-blooded.
how do they breathe fire?
Again,
They don't- no.
I live in Nimbus.
Well, he doesn't breathe fire. He breathes light.
Even better.
Light's not necessarily a source of heat. And
True.
again.
Nice pushback. I love it. That's a callback to an earlier episode where I gave him grief over it. That's good.
The other thing is, didn't you also say that he's perceived as lizard folk for the most part?
Not hear him now.
Oh, he's oversized, but
Well,
All
the
right.
only reason is because reptiles, when it
So,
gets really cold, they go dormant.
while you're in this process, and while you're just starting, you just were talking. Like I said, in about 10 minutes, something will happen. Well, after the passage of that time, you've had time to come back out. I'll get back to what Wraith actually has a conversation going on here in a minute. Got to wait for him to wake up a bit first.
Oh, he can.
You
do
hear
that.
We need more sugar.
You hear a klaxon go off. Exactly.
What's the name of your patron again, Cody?
Saf?
I just imagine Saf throws a Twinkie at you, going, "Eat more sugar."
Just shoots out of
In the back of the
He
head.
has the anti-diabetes.
No,
fuck's a Twinkie?
I think the reality is that he hasn't realized it. That during the day he's got control of the body, but when he goes to sleep, Saf gets up and goes and parties, and that's why he's so exhausted. Is he's
What is this, Black Suit Spider-Man?
no, think more along the lines of Mr. Strange and Dr. Norrell.
He hasn't seen it.
I've seen most of it, but I don't remember that part.
The
Depends.
curse
Try
on
to
the
talk about a fairy and see what comes out.
Fairies.
Oh, he's good. He's clean.
he hasn't.
See, if you really are talking about fairies, and now it comes out like the hibbity jobbity and the bunny hopped off the moon. The rose petals. Don't you see? The rose petals are the key to the gateway of Huba.
From my lips.
That does sound familiar. It's been a
Yeah.
while since I watched it.
The young lady
What the
is.
hell did you put in this
The
cupcake,
the
Travis?
curse, the blessing, the blessing of the gentleman is to bring her back in trade for half her life. They think they mean in year blocks that she's going to have to live for a while and then she's going to become the property. He says no. Every night she's dancing with me.
Yeah, I remember that part. I was
That's why you're so
referencing,
exhausted that Saf is out doing things when you're not around.
Well,
The
I was
basic-
referencing Black Suit Spider-Man because
Right.
after
Same
a
thing.
while, the suit takes him over and
Right.
starts
Starts
fighting
having to
crime
go
at
on
night. So
patrols.
he's like, he'll wake up and he's like, "Why am I so tired still?"
Yep.
Because he's still a teenager.
Yep. Exactly.
Righto, so I'll fill you two's in the conversation that I had with Mr. Zip.
Now arriving from iteration 2. Stand back on West Transcourse. Stand by at West Transcourse.
I'll talk to you guys later. It's still my shift.
He's enjoying himself over there.
So we could use one of these things to travel back to a different iteration. That's what they're doing here.
You don't think that might be a bad idea?
The
How
train
so?
the train sitting on the West Transcourse vanishes, and as soon as it vanishes, an identical looking one, but covered with damage. It looks like it's had the hell beaten out of it, with big chunks, some of the teeth broken off of the blades on the front, and in the back, 4 small dragonettes in cages.
Friends of yours?
They're odd looking in that they have
More for the soup.
too many eyes. They have 8 eyes each. Their mouths open in a 3-way split instead of 2. So they've got 2 jaws.
What color are they?
One of them's purple, one of them's gray, and one of them is a deep indigo color.
Divine sense.
All of them,
They're all evil.
yeah. You realize that the evil you're sensing from the vessels may not have been emanating from the devices themselves, but from what they are conveying.
Mm-hmm.
They are conveying evil.
Okay. Good. I don't have to go all apocalyptic up in this place.
Well, especially when you take a deeper look at these things, they're dragon-like in form. They've got wings and all of that, but their skin is covered with material that the coloration doesn't hold. In other words, it's like a chameleon-like effect. But whatever it is that the caging that's holding them is eliminating them or preventing them from adapting out of whatever they're in.
Is Mr. Zero there?
No, Zero's still in the office.
And turn to someone who looks not stupid next to me. And I'll say, so what's up with those things?
Oh, they're being moved. They're being moved from the battles for research and experimentation.
What battles?
Well, you heard the transcourse came from second iteration.
Right, but what are you taking those weirdy things from second iteration for? What experiments?
Well, we've got to figure out how they got there. They're not supposed to be there.
That would be good to know. They're fucking weird. Oh shit. Righto, boyos.
You also see them loading on Transcourse East, case upon case of silver cubes. The silver has a reflective quality, but it's reflective like matte paint that doesn't reflect, full image or
just like.
yeah.
Is there lots of it laying around? Crates?
No, well, no, they're moving it from one secure location to another. Like they're taking off of, basically downloaded from one train car, set it out in the middle, and then when the next car comes, it's supposed to go to, they're loading it.
What are those things going?
Those are going, from what I understand, probably 5th or 6th. It was humans had a bit of a time of it in those frameworks, and they had to utilize a little bit more of their own.
Oh, tell me about it.
No, really, tell me about it, right? That wasn't rhetorical, right?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't rhetorical.
He says, well, you'd probably have to talk to some of the generals for that kind of information. We're just a transport location.
Okay. Meet up on me. Meet up, please.
We were already near each other.
No, but the
Yeah, actually, what's really funny is
Okay.
if you're talking and they're like, well, he's on the cooking line, so his radio would just be clicking there, but he'd be close enough. You could actually, when you're clicking, you can hear the clicking like 40 paces away.
Could you get him off there?
I don't know.
Okay. He'll be happier here.
Well, we'll get him before we leave.
Farewell, little buddy. I smelled you many times. Other than that, it was pretty good.
Very recently, it smelled like gingerbread.
What's your wisdom? You're a wisdom-based caster, or you're an
Intelligence-based cast.
intelligence-based? What's your intelligence?
19.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d20 under your intelligence.
Nat 20.
That'd be the worst case here.
That's a 1.
Oh wow!
Perfect.
That means that even in the amount of time that you have here, you can pick up a recipe they call the what do you call it? Why did my brain just freeze on me?
Describe it.
Broth. That was what I'm looking for. The broth of transport.
The broth of transport.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Yummy.
It's just so flavorful. It transports you to another world.
Hey, boyos. I'm really conflicted. I do not know what to do. For some strange reason, part of me wants to do something.
Get a pencil.
Another part of me don't want to do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Kinda. What are we doing something about exactly? You haven't told us shit.
Have you looked around recently?
Oh, and the one other piece to this is that you see a caravan being loaded with those heptagonal prism cases that are empty onto wagons, just like the ones you saw headed north out of the valley when you first came into the realm.
I just imagine there's like little notes tagged to them or something saying put them here, and it's all places we've seen them already.
Well, it just
I'm gonna turn to somebody. Hey, what are those weird things?
those they're canisters. I think they're probably picking them up from the raids on the combs farther north.
Well, I've seen them scattered about all over the place.
Yeah, it's how we're able to extend the lines.
Oh, so those things allow you to go further.
Yeah, but somebody has to go to there and bury them.
Mm-hmm. And then once you do, you can go there.
Well, it's a little more complex than that. You see the way the trains are set up on the 8-foot trellises? Okay. Pairs of these have to be buried 100 meters from the last pair. So that acts as a pull and push point. I don't know how to describe it. It's something that they picked up from the subject projects in 7th iteration.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I want to go over and see if they're still loading the silver cubes.
Yeah.
I want to see if there's one that is not being watched that I can easily.
There would not be. No, there wouldn't be. And I'm not talking the little ones. I'm talking the case, the foot by foot, the meter by meter one. Yeah, the big ones.
So pre-grinded.
Possibly.
What you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do anything. Be cool to do, but I'm not gonna do it.
While you're there, though, go ahead and make a perception check. Actually, do an investigation check.
Investigation.
What'd you get?
15.
15. That's more than adequate. Yeah, the labels indicate that they are going that this shipment of the cubes is slated for 4th iteration DOW.
What's DOW?
I don't know. It's a configuration for the end user, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, do you know anything by DOW?
Don't think so.
DOW. Dead on William.
Dow Chemical Corporation.
Dudes on water skis.
It's a water ski.
Donkeys out.
By asking a few more
Of
questions
water.
about it, the broth of transport allows the imbiber, the person who eats it, if they're casting teleportation spells, to be more accurate. So you can go a little bit far. You can extend the distance, or even shift the time of arrival.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna maybe ask one of the people who's like overseeing the loading, or maybe
Yeah, sure.
if they know what DOW is.
You know, yeah, you'd have to check with the Tree Fallen Manifests in the office.
Oh, thank you.
That thing we need to steal.
I'm gonna go back in the office. Hey, Wraith, Follow me. Glim?
Okay.
Well, Glim,
Yes.
do you think it's time for a wee break?
What you think,
Sure,
guys?
take 10.
I
Hey,
only
and
got 10.
Hey, and if you don't come back, you know you're always welcome. You're pretty deft with the spatula there.
Deft is right.
Not daft, deft.
Same thing.
Skip on the meat in his meals.
Fair enough. We'll try that new impossible meat. That'll go good for him, I'm sure.
Yes.
A dragon having to eat veggies.
Just name everything that he'd eat after a dragon. He probably
Just
won't
like
like
a
it.
Falcon Man saying he's vegetarian.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that was very funny. That was hysterical. Roy's falcon being a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Right, so we have to go take a look at those papers we were supposed to look at. You know, that the embassy want us to check for shipment of our troops and where they may be going.
Right.
He finally uses it appropriately. Holy crap!
I'm spending my 10 weeks to learn
Learn
the
the
skill.
skill. That's good.
When I master it, I'll be able to do it and no one will even notice.
But then, are you really doing it at all?
No, but the trick is that it will give him bonuses on persuasion checks. Because people
See what
won't
I'm
even
saying?
realize that he's exactly.
Say no more.
Next will be learning to answer a question with a question. That's the key to that whole equation.
Righto, so follow me, boyos. I'll go back into the offices.
Ah, Phoebus, so glad you're back. These are your associates, eh?
Aye, this is
You didn't
my...
bring any other. You didn't bring any other Dragonborn, but I see you brought a Tink with you.
Oh, aye. I like to diversify my employment.
Oh, well, what's your specialty?
My specialty?
No, her.
Eh,
No, her.
who?
The Tinker Gnome you brought with you.
Remember Snowy?
Oh,
Snowy,
shit.
Snowy looks like a tank right now.
Oh, you mean her? She doesn't like speaking to strangers.
And she looks up at you and goes,
See, what she just said was, lovely to meet you. I don't like your face. I'm very hungry.
Glim just pats her on the back, thinking she's
I'm very
joking.
hungry. Please.
Zero goes, I speak Tink. What the hell's she doing? That's not their language.
She has a tongue deformity. We do not like to talk about it.
We usually just say she's speaking normal.
Okay, so you notice that she's got her arms behind her back with a whole passel of papers. Because she's got all the tinky gear on, you can't necessarily see it, but she's not doing a really good job of hiding it. So, what have we decided? Did you get hold of Valer for
No, he wasn't in our records, right? Wraith. This, Vala something. What was his name?
Valerthrox?
Aye, that guy. He's nae in our records, right?
He must have been from too long ago.
What iteration did you say it was from?
He signed for it in the third.
Oh. I don't believe our records go that far back. What color was he?
Oh, this set is white.
No,
A whitey.
we haven't seen a white stripe.
Oh, whitey then.
Right, we'll have to go looking again. We'll check in our archives back home.
Well, if Valer was a white dragon, chances are he's going to be easily found.
Oh, aye. Those white ones, they really stick out.
They don't really have the wherewithal to hide in plain sight.
Oh my
I
god.
know.
He's gonna milk this for the next 10 minutes. Why, if I was a white dragon anywhere near here? Why? I'm really glad this guy's not a white dragon because it'd be really obvious.
I fail at stealthily whipping the back of his head with my tail.
He happens to duck at that moment and go on to another point.
Good point, F. A white dragon would definitely try and swing with the tail at the last minute and try and hit the shorter people.
So, anyways, Mr. Zero.
They're also not so articulate.
Zero or Mr. Trifalin. Not.
You're okay. Anyways, we would like to know more about what our troops would be put to use and where and when and why.
Oh, they're definitely being sent back to the second.
The second.
Yeah.
For what purpose?
Cleanup. In the first stages of it too, the
Hey, the soldiers do not need to know per se, but I do.
well, but we haven't yet inked a contract yet, and I haven't seen the conscripts that you'd already promised.
I can't assign troops without knowing what kind of danger I may or may not be sending them into.
Well, they're going in to clear out dragon lairs that may have been corrupted.
Okay.
You
Well,
saw the most recent arrivals from Second, didn't you?
Aye, those freaks. So, the thing being, us Dragonborn are in a quite rare supply, you could say.
That's not what the brochures from Dragonia talk about, because they're saying that you're on the increase, that their population of the nation
we
is
are.
increasing
But you got to
tenfold.
understand that one Dragonborn is worth at least, 500 mortal soldiers. And so,
Well,
the troop of
from
your
our
size,
experience in the recent incident with the Eldrin, they were far from that efficient. They were at somewhere in the fact of 1.7 instead of 50.
they weren't ours then.
Well, no, that's why we were hoping to have some of yours to be able to put through field tests at least, and they haven't even arrived.
Right, well, we can't do that till we know what they're being field tested for. We're not just going to
That
send
is
our
not what the
troops.
original letter to Phoebus told us. I can show you his letter. He basically was enthusiastically willing to send us 50 units, and they have not yet
I'm
arrived.
the one who penned the letter. Remember?
Your attitude does not reflect the same enthusiasm that you showed in the written form, and therefore I wonder whether or not you may or may not be.
It's a
Phoebus.
bargaining tactic, boyo. Grow up.
Phoebus dictated the letter to his scribe so that it would be more eloquent.
Okay.
The point is, you need to tell us more about what you plan to do with the troops.
They're
That's all we need to
and
know.
I just told you they're going into the second
Going into
iteration
second,
into the
To
draconic
clear out
lairs
the dragon lairs.
to ensure that they weren't corrupted by the incidences that occurred there, because somebody slipped creatures that were not from second it in there without utilizing our delivery systems. Hence, there must be at least one other force similarly attuned with a very different objective.
Okay, and they would be transported by your hingy-doos.
We thought we were the only ones that could do this. Apparently, there's other ways. The technologies that we've developed were based on the findings of Armental and Alistair, and so we're not sure what other methodology might be used.
Okay. Well, is there any way we could take a look at your manifestos to see, like, the gravity of what you're doing here?
About this time, your little gnome friend is already to the doorway trying to back out, but she keeps seeing people, so she has to keep turning back, and she's going,
Her adoptive father did not teach her very well manners of speaking.
Wraith, could you go help the she-gnome? I think she needs a break out in the fresh air, maybe. at least take her up the stairs a bit.
Yeah,
The fumes will probably get
As
to
you
her.
approach her, she looks up and waits till she's clearly got your face is blocking tree fallings, and she says, "I got him. If he asks for them, we're gonna get caught."
Alright, let's get out of here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, come on, I'm blocking the view, so...
Okay, he's still gonna get caught. Okay, so you get her out. Okay, so you were asking to see what?
We were asking to see what the transcription on your packages. See, the reason why I wanted to see was I'm a bit ashamed to say it, but I saw DOW and I didn't know what it means. And I hoped you could elaborate.
So what documentation would you need to see about DOW? That's not even in part of the agreement concerning second iteration.
I was just curious.
Oh, well, there's a lot of paramilitary information with needs to know, and that's not something, unfortunately, that you necessarily need to know.
Okay then. Thought we were being trustful, but okay.
Oh, I'm sure we will over time, but we
Oh,
got to
I'm
first get the
sure
first
over
stages.
time.
First stages
Um,
involved first.
Okay, well, I'll go back up and I'll send a quick message to my system mates and see about getting them troops here on the double.
Alrighty,
Perhaps even the triple, you know.
excellent. Do
I'll
look,
be seeing you.
be looking forward to working with you further, Phoebus.
Aye. Cheery bye. Come on, Glenn. There's gingerbread to bake.
Okay, so she's got, she was not very discriminating. She grabbed the entire cabinet full of manifests. So it's literally all the shipments for the next 3 days.
Woo!
So she says we need to not be here. We need to go.
Yeah, let's,
Because when they find out they don't have them, that they're, yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
let's get the hell out of here. And quickly.
Carry on. Without seeing too out of order, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So the Filbert comes out just at the end of his break. He comes running up to you as you're with them trying to leave, and Filbert goes, "Dude, can you cover me for Tuesday? Because I got a hot date. There's this girl named Chastity in town, and I want to get a chance to see her."
Why does everyone in this town do that weird clicking?
Because Angus lives here.
Get with
No.
the program!
It's gone completely over Glib's head this entire
Exactly.
time. At this point, it's like a speech impediment.
I think we got a date with somebody on Tuesday.
Why do you think I said Tuesday?
Uh-huh. I have this 7-sided incense pyramid.
Uh huh.
I forgot you had that. I don't remember what it does.
I don't think you've used it yet.
Oh, doesn't it just
Ever.
smell really bad?
It's incense. It smells like incense.
No, because I remember John specifically saying it smells like a sewer.
Yes. So, I'm gonna go over and, is there a place that looks really important that doesn't have a lot of watchful eyes?
No, those two things don't usually go that way. So no.
You know, I'm just checking to see if there's a alignment of some kind of stars that don't exist.
Nice. Looking for star alignments on a random chance of something. So let's go with a ridiculous 1%. I'll grant you.
Okay,
No modifiers, just a straight roll.
34.
That's not the 1%.
That's not the one.
Well,
33.
And
that's a 1% difference.
And neither one works.
What are the chances?
So, I'm gonna
Of
go.
course, you can sit here. You could use this as a point where you could make all the dice rolls from all the VPs you have to try to make it happen.
I am going to go over to the giant cauldron with the fire underneath it.
And the gnomes dancing around it.
Aye.
Huh?
I'm gonna lean over and smell the cauldron.
Uh-huh.
Smell good?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So while I'm leaned over and my cloak kind of falls down, I'm gonna toss it into the fire, stealthily as possible,
Okay.
and then walk away.
Okay. Given the size and the magnitude of the fire and the tiny nature of a single incense triangle, it'll smell bad, but it's one of those things where it'll waft in the air and people will be like, "Oh, that's that horrible smell," but it's not going to be significant
Well,
enough
you
to...
said it was big, that it was a 7-sided pyramid, about like a foot in diameter.
The problem with incense is it actually incense does not make a lot of smoke while it's constantly on fire. It's only once you light it and then get it to burn
I'm not
embers.
looking for smoke.
It doesn't even make smell without the smoke.
Yes, it does.
Not as much.
I have a
And-
whole cabinet full at home.
Yes, but if you, like, as he's saying, if you leave it lit, if it's sitting there burning, it burns out most of the smell.
And it
Process.
burns fast.
It's only
But
when
when you throw a piece of incense into a fire, it releases a lot of it all at once, and it becomes extremely overpowering.
for a few minutes. That's what I'm getting at. is
Yeah,
that it's
that's all I need.
Okay.
A really big smell.
But
Like-
I'm saying that the volume of area that air that it would affect is going to be relatively small, given the size and magnitude of the fire being used to cook.
Plus the room.
The area is so large that it wouldn't be enough. If you were to put that into a campfire, then yes, I could see you doing what you're talking about. But this is
Well, then what's the scale of the fire then?
it's a bonfire size. It's big enough for 10 gnomes to be walking around a cauldron that's big enough for them to all be cooking into it at the same time.
So the cauldron's technically bigger than you.
I thought you said that there was a cauldron hanging off the back of a wagon.
No, I said I said next to the wagon is the fire with the cauldron, and the cauldron's big.
Then my mistake.
Yeah, the cauldron's big enough to probably push
I
you
just
into it.
you would be aware that it's not going to have the effect that you're looking for. I know what you're looking at. Let's clear the area because it's horrible smell. We don't know where it's coming from. Find what the source is and stop them from doing what they're doing.
Well, then if that's the case, then I would
What is it you're attempting? Because
to make a distraction.
Hey, look, a distraction.
Where?
So can I?
no, you're obfuscating a bit. I need to know what it is you're attempting to do. This is a situation where I, as the GM, need to know what you in meta are trying to accomplish.
Okay.
So that therefore I can adjudicate whether or not my response to your attempt is fair and equitable, or if I'm overblowing in order to prevent you from doing something even more horrible than what I envision you're trying to do.
Okay.
So
Well, what I'm trying to do is create something that smells really bad, a distraction, so that rather it will slow production down, that they'll have to stop the transport, that they'll have to check it out, and hopefully cause enough of a headache for an hour or two up to a day before they find it, so that they don't check the manifest records right away.
okay. But the issue is that anything of that kind of magnitude would cause them to check more quickly because they want to see what it is that somebody would be coming after. Because this place is guarded. The reason why they're not allowed in here is they don't want other people interfering with what they are doing. So the fact that you would do anything that's on that level of a magnitude divergence automatically would cause them to go into check everything out mode to see which enemy it might be that's trying to interfere with them. Yes,
Are any of the carts coming or going right now?
there's constantly stuff coming and going.
Shot in the dark, big distraction. Remember the first town?
Yeah.
What was the thing that looked like it was attacking?
He wants to know if he can throw his orange dragon in.
Have the cart come back carrying a giant red dragon. That ought to cause a little bit of confusion.
Yeah.
If you do that with the horrible stench, then it kind of makes sense because the different dragon and the different aroma can be different. I'm just saying that you're not number one, you're not going to shut down operation. This is too big and too many people and too many times. So the only thing that you're going to be doing is drawing more attention to the fact that the manifests are missing. The thing that you're wanting to do is get out of it before they look, right?
Mm-hmm.
So expediting your departure would do that.
Okay.
I'm just
That's fine. We can just go. Out we go.
Hang on, let's see.
Something funny.
I have an idea, so that I just need to double check and make sure if it's within reason.
Roll a cool, dude.
Well, it's whether or not the spell even does it.
No, because you can dance and turn into glimmer bread, man. So.
So I do have silent image. Maybe some cloaked invaders sneak around some places. A few people catch them.
The other option is just, taking everything out of the portable hole in the haversack and,
Nope. Not doing that.
There is a possibility.
Are you sure?
Not doing that.
I tried to make it less.
We're just gonna leave.
Okay, we're just leaving.
Like we're supposed to.
Well, okay. I did not mean for it to sound like that either. That makes it a little too trite.
How much air is in a portable hole?
10 by 10 by 10 cube.
So I guess my question is, because a hole when put away is more or less folded in on itself, is it considered open? So
No, it needs no open, no close. It just is.
I'm just curious how much oxygen is in a portable hole is why.
Okay.
Enough.
Just
like
a couple
20
things
minutes.
for the future.
Okay. A portable hole is better than a bag of holding. Like, for example, if you wanted to put somebody in a bag, I said that wrong. A bag of holding is 10 by 10 by 10. A portable hole, I think, is 100 square feet. 100 cubic feet, I mean.
Okay, so
5 times bigger.
I'll look it up.
It's a lot, but the issue is that you can actually hide inside of a portable hole, but not for very long because it will deplete the oxygen. Whereas a bag of holding is too small to even do it. You
well, a
won't.
bag of holding has 10 minutes of oxygen in it.
Okay.
A portable hole, if it's 10 times bigger, would have 100 minutes, so hour 40. That's for one creature.
One creature, right?
You
Yes.
divide it as.
How,
And you'd have to have somebody to open it back up. So if what you're trying to, the only other way to do it would be to actually do something in the offices. So putting the aroma off inside the office or near the office might do it. Because then they actually couldn't go in there and deal with it if it's a god awful smell. I'm trying not to say no,
Cody,
Travis. I'm just trying to.
No, I'm not upset or anything. I'm
page.
just.
No.
there's a disc.
So it's a 10-foot deep hole with a 6-foot diameter.
Oh, so it's even smaller than a bag of holding.
Well, the outside is a 6-foot diameter.
First thing you see on the page.
It doesn't say anything about the width dimensions of said hole. A breathing creature within a closed portable hole can survive up to 10 minutes.
Okay, so portable hole is exactly the same size as a bag of holding. It just opens differently.
Rolling coin. Rolling coin. The dumb idea that I had was we all hide inside of a portable hole. I have the spell tiny servant.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a tiny sized object into a servant for 8 hours. We all hide in the hole, have a little coin or something, get out, and then it opens up the hole for us.
Mm.
And it's because it'd be tiny and presumably maybe a copper coin or something of dull color, no one will notice it. And it's not concentration, and it's...
If you wanted to be in the office after hours, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just
Okay.
if we're looking for a way out of a situation, it's not
So-
a bad one.
Here's the
Right,
other
Cody?
option.
Okay.
We can cut off one of the side pouches that's just a small, only can carry 80-pound mini bag of holding. And we throw it into the portable hole. And we throw that into the middle.
It would. Just that act itself would do what it does. It's not like you have a chance to do something else with it after.
Right, it would be destroyed. But we'd still have the haversack. And
But-
this place would be bone
Glenn just
around.
starts walking out the front
No,
door.
if you
at
cut
this point.
anything off the haversack, you destroy it. You can't cut the little pouches off of a haversack.
Okay. Well then, let's just go.
Glenn just starts walking. if we're not gonna do it the fun way, we might as well just do it the normal way.
Well, as it is, the reality is just the fact that the manifests aren't there will delay their action. So if the intent
The
was
intent
to
was just to have a cool way of getting out. As a cool distraction.
But that would draw way too much attention, though. The purpose for your departure is if you made a flashy thing happen when you were leaving, you are kind of standoutish. They would know that you were involved because you'd be seen fleeing from the scene by somebody. If that's what you
it was
prefer.
a smart plan.
Plus, you also had 8 witnesses see you throw the incense block in the fire if that was the route.
No, I could stealthily do it, but
Well, he's just saying with 8 pairs of gnomish eyes watching the fire and
they're focused and dancing around doing a lot of work.
Yeah, but the cauldron's full of food, which is what they're focused on.
Yeah.
and seeing a dragon near the fire with a weird shaped thing.
There's a lot of, if it's a big cauldron, there's a hell of a lot of ways to get something in there. With that.
And
There's variables.
I saw the movie Vantage Point. For every person that does that, there's also 100 eyes that see it that you didn't think would see it. So,
Then
if you want the
stealth
flashy,
mechanics
let me ask
are
you.
an
Let me ask you the
illusion.
question
Oh,
a different way. If you want this to be a departure that gets you notoriety as being the person who did it, I'll allow whatever theatrical thing you want to do. I am trying to make sure that you would get away with as little.
Then let's go.
Visibility.
It's not worth arguing about. We can talk about semantics about it later.
Okay. This is to me. It's the okay. But yeah, right.
Hat on a
To
hat.
me,
What's
it's
up,
making a giant mountain out of a molehill.
Let's
Okay. All right. So you get out when you get out. She goes, "Did I do good?"
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me see those peepers. Into the portable hole, and out we go.
Okay. So backing out, they ask you how you enjoyed your tour. Did everything go well?
It was horrible.
It's horrible.
Aye.
Did you not have a guide with you?
No, we didn't.
Well, that's really why we always recommend the.
What's that
They walk
category
along.
would you say
Aye.
height of holding
He
is?
made it worse.
What?
That's why we didn't have a
Height of
guide.
holding.
Oh,
What size category would you say?
sorry to hear that.
You'll find him somewhere along the path, I'm sure. He was very rude. You need to check your
Dude.
stuff.
Check her stuff.
Anyways, cheery bye. Out to the gift shop, shall we go?
Sure.
Is there anything different in the gift shop?
Yeah, there's a display of Ruprecht cubes. Little silver cubes about this big, inch by inch. They don't do anything.
I'm gonna take a handful.
Well, a handful, they're a covered piece of piece.
Is there anyone watching this
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, well, there's people there.
Sure.
You walked out when it was, remember you walked in after hours. In this case, you're walking out
Fine.
during hours.
I'll give 10 copper pieces.
And you get 10 silver cubes.
Yep.
They don't do anything, no special effects. They're just,
Exactly, but here's the thing: is that when I need to steal real ones later, I can switch.
Mm.
at least you have 10 attempts, right?
It's just about 10 o'clock.
Yep. So we will,
And I want to get a Zero Dolly action figure.
okay, do you want, there's one where you push the bottom and he like all falls to pieces and then he comes back together. Like Tree Fallen, get it? Made out of wood. It's got his face.
I'll take one of those.
Okay. It actually looks like the statue, but it just. Yeah, you know what the joke is? This is Tree Fallen before the battle. That's Tree Fallen after the battle, because he felt so personally responsible for it all and all of that.
If a tree falls in the forest, does anyone hear make
Zero
sound?
Tree Fallen.
Okay.
Been tough there for a second.
Anything else we want to do?
I think this is all we need. Now let's.
Out of Dodge we go.
Well, we still need.
Shipyard.
Yeah.
Shipyard.
Well, we need to collect our dragons.
Aye. So we'll walk over to the Temple
Click.
district.
Clack.
So you giving him the bag then?
I'm gonna look through 'em once we're out of visual
Sure.
range.
It's 3 days worth of scheduling.
What is DOW?
It's DOW all the way through.
Right, but is there any clues about quantity, description, amount, weight,
Denizens
size?
of war.
No, they're all associated with fourth
That's it.
iteration, and they're almost
yours
always
better.
the seller, not the buyer.
Aha. That gives me everything I need to know. It's from dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Hi.
Doesn't
I just
order
had
water.
just
No, you
just
know.
now got there. You just weren't
No, I needed my character
Yeah.
to put the two
Yeah,
to two.
yeah, okay. I didn't know that you had the term dogs in your vocabulary yet.
He's read through the Time Goddesses
Cannons
stuff,
of war.
That's right.
and he's been to Tenerife a lot,
Right. Yep. Okay. So yes.
and I think he was on a ship with A&A Shipping at one time.
Oh, he didn't go to New Zealand.
He-
No. No.
Anyways,
Okay. So.
is there anything of import? Can I do an investigation check?
I will have you a full list of everything next week. Actually, physically give you a copy of the manifest because I anticipate you got a gnome that can scribble, right?
I can tinker.
Aren't you? Thought you were a.
He's a wizard.
I thought somebody was a charlatan.
There
No.
might have been. I'm a charlatan on Sunday.
That's maybe what I was thinking. Anyway, yeah, I'll get you the list of the manifest for next
No,
week.
I'm a.
Cool.
I'm a.
As a matter of fact,
sage
I will put that
background.
as a something on the Discord so the fans can see it too. So.
Cool.
All right. Thank you for watching,
Yes.
everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Don't forget to watch us on Sunday. And my camera froze again because I'm looking at me. It looks like I was having
I
a
have
good
such
time.
beautiful eyes.
Exactly. All right. You guys have a great night. See you next time.
Chitty